everyone has a pretty good idea of how this works. First, I want to say thank you for helping us out. I won't take credit for the idea. This is actually Danny's idea. He's had it for the last couple of years. He pitched it again, having like an all war, war only league. When he mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, I said absolutely not. There's like no time for me to get into another fantasy league. We're both in the Navy. I'm working on my real estate license. I'm running a couple other side hustles, and basically, I think he said, "Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to code it anyway." So I said, "F you." Grabbed some scotch, opened up Microsoft Excel, and kind of threw something together. But we really appreciate you guys helping us, test this concept. What we're looking for is a couple different things. We're trying to, figure out if it'll be fun. We're trying to figure out, how to make it more fun. If we need to do, supplementary drafts, where you drop a couple players each month throughout the season, or maybe one during the All-Star break, or getting rid of the salary cap. Whatever you guys have, we're looking to test the concept and getting your feedback on what would make it better. Possibly in the future, if it's fun and it's something that we think other people would value, we might look at instantiating some more leagues, and getting some more people involved. The good news is this is very kind of a roto-esque structure that we have. I've got our spreadsheet here, our draft board, and I've got it programmed to up to 25 teams. So if we wanted to just keep adding more to it and just make it a super deep league where we're getting 6, 7, maybe 800 players deep, we have that possibility. So real quick, what I want to do in this hopefully very short video is kind of walk through how we're going to do the draft. That's the closest thing that's going to affect us. So everyone's got a copy of the draft board here, a link to it. Everyone should have permissions except for Andrew, the final guy that's getting in. What I will tell you is basically the things in green here, that's your friend. That's where you want to stay. You shouldn't have privileges to write anywhere else, but if you want to change your team name, do it up here in green. And when you make your pick, you're going to do it right here in column B. So we're going to pretend we're team 12 and we're on the clock. Uh, Non-intuitive. Don't try to put your pick up here into the draft. It'll throw an error. So come down here to pick 12, and you wanna type it in here. What I will say is spelling matters for a couple reasons. If you put in your pick and you get the spelling wrong, you're not going to accrue any WAR because it won't be able to find that player in my WAR stats that we're scraping. Also, it won't reflect against your salary because if you misspell a guy, that guy's not gaining a salary. So we'll go ahead and throw somebody in here, and I'll show you just kind of how we need you to draft. So we'll put in Bartolo Colon because that's a solid first round pick, and then we'll follow it up with Elvis Andrus, I guess. So when we do our picks, obviously we're doing a turn pick here, so we're going to do two in a row. All you do, like I said, is stay here in the green, type your guy in. It'll auto-populate. You see them kind of populating right here. You see it's working. The working bar is up in the top right. It'll populate up here on the draft board. And then the second thing I need you to do is go over here to the draft log and actually tweet that out. And the reason I programmed the tweet in is for a couple reasons. First is integrity of the league. Even though we all have right privileges, maybe Patrick here he's coming up with pick 14. He might have wanted Bartolo Colon. I wouldn't want him to erase that out and then draft him for himself, and then we have to go back and look through the log to see it's been changed. So the tweet actually goes out in the real world and makes it official. Another good thing it does is you can follow the hashtag that I've got it set up to do, and so you can see the draft using the Twitter platform. And then, to be honest, it just gives me free marketing by having a shitload of tweets out there with our hashtag on it. So after you got your inputs in there, go over here to the draft log. This is super easy. I've got a picture here if you don't really know what you're doing, but you go down to your picks 12 and 13. If you're using Firefox or Chrome browser, you can sit here and click tweet all day and you'll be very unhappy with the results. It has this pop-up script on Chrome and Firefox, so just go up there and click on that. Give it about 5 or 10 seconds, and what that'll do is kind of the scripted template that I have set up. It will push that out into the world, and hopefully it'll say success right there. If not, just let me know. I'll go ahead and tweet this second one out too. And while that's working, you can kind of come over here to the Twitter world. we will check to see if that actually worked. So yeah, that second one went. It says it was successful. And the one other thing I wanted to mention while we wait for Twitter to load over there is I don't really have a way. A couple things you have to keep track of on your own whenever we're drafting. If for some reason uh, I was dumb and I thought Mike Trout might still be available, and I type in Mike Trout for the number 14 overall pick, I've yet to get it to send an error message saying, "Hey dummy, of course Mike Trout's not here for you." So what I did get it to do is it'll populate with a red square, and so obviously it's still working here. While it's doing that, we'll go check the Twitter world. Yeah, you see it sent a couple tweets here. It looks like the Tar Heels select Bartolo Colon with the number 12 pick on the Fantasy War Only draft. Draft board is link put in there. So we know the Twitter's working. And then, like I said, if you pick a guy who's already been picked, the only indication that you're an idiot will be this box right here turning red. And if you don't believe it, you can kind of scroll up, and wherever that player is found before you will also show red, and that'll be your indication that you need to pick someone else. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about how to tweet it out. That's really it. That'll get us through the draft until we actually start playing. One thing I did want to show you though is kind of the back end what I'm going to be looking at. I don't have a way to force Bartolo Colon into your pitching position and Elvis Andrus into your SS position. So what I have to do kind of here on the back end, and don't mind all these other players, once we start drafting, I just kind of copied those in so that we had some values to make it look like it was doing something. But as we're drafting, what I'm going to be doing is taking these players and copy and pasting them into the machine here. If for some reason you're like, oh man, I really want Elvis Andrus to be in a different position, or let's say you got Ben Zobrist or Matt Carpenter, these guys with multi ESPN eligibilities, what you want is to just shoot me a message, and what I'll do is just move them around. If you want Matt Carpenter in your 3 instead of your 1, just let me know, because that's the part that I have to do manually, and that's the reason at this point we haven't done a lot of ad drops and a lot of free agency and a lot of trades yet, is because when we do that, I have to go in and manually put those in. So it might be something we look at in the future, but not yet at this point. And then the final thing I wanted to kind of show is on the draft at the very bottom columns, you'll see this salary remaining. The minute you draft a guy, your salary won't move, because not until I come in here and add Elvis and Bartolo to your team does the salary reflect on your remaining salary, and then that comes back and populates right here. So it shows it now, but that's only because I just updated it. You're going to see probably a 12 or 24 hour until I get my shit together before this salary remaining actually adjusts. So just keep that in mind. Two things about the draft is, one, don't go over your salary. I have no way for you to not pick a guy that's going to make you go over. I don't have a force function yet for that. And then the second bit is, know what positions you need here. Because if you draft too many pitchers and then you end up without a utility guy, we have to do this embarrassing thing where we have to go unwind the draft a little bit, or we just penalize you by not putting a guy in there. We're not really sure how we're gonna work that out yet. But yeah, any feedback that you guys have, let us know. At this point, I think if we do like an all-star break supplemental draft where you can drop maybe 3, 5, 7 guys, injuries, guys that are out on the IR or whatever. I'm sorry, the DL. Then that'll be something that's probably manageable, because we have 7 days to get in there and move some guys around. But like I said, we're looking for your feedback. So anything you have that might make it better, we're all ears for. So let us know. All right, if you have any questions, like I said, this is kind of super simple. Keep it in the green, go to the draft log. It'll auto-populate a tweet for you. This will have a blue tweet link there. Click it, and then it'll populate with when you actually sent it there. Should be easy, should be good to go. We will see, and I'm here to help out wherever I can. Looking forward to testing it out with you guys. Have a good one.